A night in with MauLer and the drinker, getting trashed with the web street dictors. A cheap night cause I'm feeling kinda thrifty, got a 10 pack of beers and a bottle of whiskey. Hop up the cork, have a glass of wine, pass fail safe, I'll be fine. Trouble walking in a straight line before the Pinot Noir. It's open bar with our hosts, MauLer and the critical drinker.
Good evening tonight. Welcome, MauLer. How are you doing? Are you okay starting at 8 o'clock? This is crazy.
It's horrifying. We're up so early.
I know. It's like normally you'd get to sleep for an extra hour before you were summoned for this, but
Also,
I'm glad you were able to make it.
The spinning loading bar for a little bit there and talking, and I was like, oh god. It's like, is it gonna just be me talking to a loading wheel? I was like, what happens to you, drinker? Devolved.
No, well, I'm here for now anyway, so we'll see how long that holds up. But yeah, good to be with you guys tonight. As I say, we started slightly earlier than normal tonight, which makes us officially not lame or gay, which is nice for a change. You know, it's a good thing to vary things up. But yeah, I got to catch an early flight tomorrow. So it's a matter of necessity tonight. But for the people that could make it and join us for this, welcome to Open Bar 176. It's good to have you all here. And that being the case, MauLer, as is tradition, should we cover the year 1976 in this case and give you some pointless facts?
We gosh darn should.
One week I'm actually going to make you do this. Maybe I should do that on the final week, right? When it's the last one. You can
give me your notes or make me get them myself.
No, you get them. Like, try and find some interesting facts about the year, because I feel like, well, keep it to under an hour in terms of like your presentation. And you're not allowed to use graphs or anything.
59 minutes, that's the best I can do. 7 minutes. 7 minutes is all I have to play with you.
Resident Evil, love it. But anyway, right, stuff that happened in 1976 in the world of like politics and world events and stuff. Jimmy Carter defeated Gerald Ford to become U.S. president. Mao Zedong passed away. Oh no, what a shame. And Harold Wilson resigned, and he was replaced by James Callaghan as prime minister. There was, in terms of like major news stories as well, a massive earthquake in China, which was 8.2 magnitude on the Richter scale and killed over 240,000 people. I mean, that is insane. Also in that year, actually, another earthquake struck Italy. So it was a bad year for earthquakes. In slightly better news, however, Apple was founded by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak in that year, 1976. Oh, and Ronald Wayne as well. He was the third member of the group. Yeah. He cashed out early, which he probably shouldn't have done in retrospect.
Yeah, that's how it goes. That's one of the things people always say if you go back in time what you invest in. It's like, well, you Google it, Apple and Amazon, I guess.
Didn't he also, like, because, you know, he was much older than them, they brought him in to be like the sort of steadying, sort of business-minded guy to mediate between them, because they were very much technology guys and ideas guys, and they needed someone who was going to handle the business side of things. And he very, very quickly realized, like, no, they're moving too fast for me. I don't want to be part of this, and like sold his shares in the company for like $500 or something, and they'd be worth like, you know, like $10 billion at this point today.
Yeah.
But he even had, and this is even better, if this is the guy, he had like a signed agreement of like the three of them with their signatures on it, essentially forming Apple. Like that was their business agreement. And he'd held on to it, and he sold it to a collector for something like $1,000. And then when it was like valued, it was actually worth something like, you know, 600,000-700,000 at least, just because of its historical value. So again, perhaps he wasn't the greatest businessman after all.
Damn.
But anyway, other stuff that happens. What did we get? First ever commercial Concorde flights, so you can now fly supersonic. Didn't last, unfortunately. We can't do that anymore, but it was nice while we had it. You could get on a plane in London and then arrive in New York technically before you left because of the time zone differences, which is kind of neat.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah. America celebrated its 200th birthday, the bicentennial. So well done, America. Happy birthday to you in retrospect.
Good job. We're not sore about it all. You know, you guys are all good.
Honestly, at this point, I think America's doing just fine without us. Like, might need to request an invasion from them at some point, but yeah, we'll hold off for now. Yeah, in the world of film, though, filming began on Star Wars, which is, you might have heard of that.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
What has actually gone down as one of the most lucrative business decisions in the whole history of movies. George Lucas, he actually declined his directing fee, which he was going to be $500,000, in exchange for complete ownership of the merchandising and sequel rights, which worked out pretty well for him in retrospect.
What a decision.
I mean, you got to admire the balls on the man for doing that, because he didn't know if the movie was going to work. It could have been a complete disaster, in which case he would have lost everything from it. But nah. That is cool. Also in that year, John Wayne's final movie, The Shootist, was released. Excellent film, actually. If people haven't seen it, and if you're in any way interested in John Wayne movies, that is a really fucking good one. I think he gives one of the best performances of his career in that. Michael Eisner was brought in as president of Paramount Pictures. Pretty interesting dude. Obviously, had a fall from grace in recent years, but that's the way it goes in Hollywood, it seems. Also, you got the first ever use of the Steadicam, and it's not in Rocky, which everyone erroneously names it for. Rocky was not actually the first movie that used it. It was the first theatrically released film that did it, but the actual movie that used it in filming for the first time was Bound for Glory. It was filmed earlier, but released later, unfortunately. But kind of cool. The Steadicam was very influential in terms of cinematography over the following decades, but it was invented right there. Speaking of Rocky, though, biggest movie of the year by far. It's listed here as the number one film in the US box office. It was done on a budget of $960,000. Not bad. It made $225 million globally.
Yes, this is pretty good, I guess.
Not a bad return on investment, really, is it?
It's notable, I suppose.
You also had A Star Is Born, came out the same year. Probably one of the 5 or 6 different versions we've had over the decades. King Kong, interestingly, they did a remake of King Kong, which nobody talks about now, but it's actually not bad. If you ever watched it, it's kind of cool. Silver Streak, The Omen, very famous horror movie. The Enforcer, that was another Dirty Harry movie from Clint Eastwood. And in terms of famous people who were born in that year, this is the year that gave us Ryan Reynolds. I don't know, do we cheer for him anymore, or is he kind of sort of falling out of favor? Benedict Cumberbatch, we'll politely applaud him. Well done, Benedict, for being born.
Well done, Ben.
Cillian Murphy, Colin Farrell, Chadwick Boseman, and Isla Fisher all born in that year. Alexander Skarsgård, John Bernthal, Keely Hawes, and Sean William Scott from American Pie.
Hey.
I really finished on a high with that one.
I feel like he's disappeared. Don't know what he's up to these days. Yeah,
I think he was very much like an actor of the moment. Like he rose to fame with American Pie, and I think once he aged out of that kind of role, there was just no place for him, really.
He popped up in Final Destination. Remember, he got half his face taken off.
Yeah, that was nice.
That's notable, yeah.
Yeah, a very notable role for him. Also, this was the year that gave us Mike Poe, 5'87". He was born in 1976. So, well done, sir.
Nice.
Anyway, it's time to bring our panel in. So, if you would, please, everyone, welcome Ryan Kinel, Chris Gore, and DarkHour. Welcome, gentlemen. It's good to have you here, as always.
Thanks for having us. In 1976, big earthquake year apparently over there in China.
It was a big year for earthquakes. Yeah, they couldn't stop using them.
249,000. You know, that sounds like a lot of people until you realize that that's probably about the viewership for Star Trek Starfleet Academy. Then it doesn't sound like very much. But
I think you're being really generous there, right?
Yeah,
like,
a lot of YouTubers watching it.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about Starfleet Academy backstage. I've gotten to the point I just can't do it. I don't want to cover it on open bar. I've stopped watching it. I can't bring myself to experience it anymore. I think a lot of people might be in the same position.
Well, I'm in that position, but unfortunately, I'm on FNT every week. So
They make you do it, do they?
yeah.
Oh yeah, no one's ever made anyone do anything on this show, right, Drinker?
But that is torture. That is proper torture. I mean, it's next level stuff. It was something I was actually going to, I was going to talk about because we did hear the news just a couple of days ago that with Starfleet Academy, now out there and it's being released, there are now no other active projects in development in the Star Trek universe at this point, right? And this is the first time we've been in this position for almost 20 years, I think, because you got the J.J. Abrams movies that are going back to like 2009, so they're probably in development from like 2007. So that's almost 20 years, and now this is the first time ever that we don't have any more Star Trek projects in development. And I 100% don't blame them, because if I was Paramount, I wouldn't want to bankroll any more of this garbage. Why would anyone? There's no point to it. I mean, is this it? Is it time to let Star Trek just rest for a decade or so?
Yes, it's the franchise is worse than I've ever seen it. There's no interest in merch. The only merch of interest is old Trek. I mean, I bought a year ago the Tomy diecast metal Star Trek the Motion Picture Enterprise, but other than that, the new Trek stuff, the merch doesn't sell. As you pointed out, and you may not be wrong, Ryan, couple 100,000 people. It doesn't chart even on Paramount Plus. So,
when it releases, when a new episode releases for about a day, it is in the top 10 on Paramount Plus specifically. And then very quickly it falls away, even just on Paramount Plus.
I mean, even when I go
crazy
to look for it, I look for it to watch an episode, I can't find it because it's not recommended.
Yeah.
It's that bad.
I mean,
one of the problems, the answer to your question is absolutely it is time to let it rest. Like, let it rest, give it a 5-year break or more. The problem is, I don't think that Paramount, after purchasing Warner Brothers and being $80 billion in debt, can afford to take an IP that they see as potential value and say, we're just going to let it rest for a decade or so. They're behind the 8 ball. They need to have these franchises that are actually making them money. Now, you might say, is it better in the long run for them to let it sit? Probably, but I don't know if they can afford to let it sit.
Well, wouldn't it be addition by subtraction? They spent $50 million plus on this show, and it's definitely not making them any money back. It would be they'd gain money simply by not spending it like that.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of wasting money just by making more shows. Like, in theory, yeah, like there's always the potential that they could make something good and turn it around. But man, they're not going to do it with the creative team that they have. Like sitting astride Star Trek like a gigantic tumor. They need to be cut away and get a whole new creative team in.
Yes, and I think what they're going to do, what I believe they're going to do, is Alex Kurtzman's contract is done at the end of this year anyway. They let that fucking piece of shit walk.
Yeah,
and I think they do bring in a new creative team, and I think they ignore a lot of the shit that's been done in the Kurtzman era, and I think they put out new movies. I think that's what you see. Not to say it won't be a series or something too, but I think their focus is now on new movies. What will that be? Will it be a brand new thing? Will it be another attempt to recreate the original? I don't know, but I think that's probably what they're going to do, because I don't think they feel they can afford to let one of the things they just spent so much money acquiring, because Skydance acquired Paramount, which then acquired Warner Brothers. They have so much money wrapped up in all of this. I think they believe that they will need some output from it.
And the rumor is that they're eyeing Ron Moore to potentially work on it. But I think the one person we all know who should shepherd Star Trek is Robert Meyer Burnett. He knows it better than anyone. I'd love to see what he would do, but I agree with you, Ryan. They're gonna somehow just shelve it in a way. I think that's going to happen quite a bit as all these modern franchises have been run into the ground. You're scraping the bottom of the barrel, and you're only doing damage. I would say to anyone, you were talking about the deal, right? Everyone's like, oh, well, the Ellisons, it's a right-wing company. They're friends with Trump and all this. They made Starfleet Academy, the gayest Star Trek ever made.
Yeah, but like
can't
that
just
wasn't made under their watch, because they only acquired Paramount last year, didn't they? And like Starfleet
True.
Academy would have been filmed, it would have been in post-production by that point, so they couldn't really stop it. It was already
You
there.
can decanonize it, Drinker, and will.
Well, that's
I mean,
probably
they could have
I would
stopped
willow it at this point. I would do a willow on it and just like scrub it from
Yeah.
the servers, decanonize it, take the tax write-off on it, and just like
Before the
try and
finale comes out, just make the
Yeah,
decision
yeah.
today, now.
Or well, as soon as the finale's done, like as soon as it airs, just like then cancel the whole thing and wipe it. But yeah, like in terms of what Paramount can make use of, like they are at the moment very much like the Taylor Sheridan network. Like he has got so many of his shows, Landman, Yellowstone, Tulsa King, and they're successful, right? They're bringing in the viewers, they're appealing to the audience of middle America, which is like a huge potential audience, and they're not that expensive to make because they're not VFX heavy like Star Trek is. If it were me, and this is just purely as an outsider, I would let Star Trek rest for several years, get rid of all the secret hideout people, rely on those Taylor Sheridan shows for the time being to carry Paramount as a company, and then bring in a whole new creative team and start to look at some kind of way to rebuild Star Trek. It's going to have to be decanonizing everything that's been done in the past 10 years in terms of TV shows. Get rid of them all. They're dead weight. I mean, maybe someone like Terry Matalas might be good to bring back. Like he did Picard season 3, did a pretty good job with it. He might be a candidate for doing something like this. I don't know if he would even want to do something like that, but he proved that at least he can have a little bit of respect for like the legacy of Star Trek and do a pretty serviceable story to wrap that up. Someone like that might be a winner, but it just needs to have a little bit of a break. I think people need to start to miss it again. They need to have some sort of anticipation for something new. Ryan is probably correct in that movies are the better way forward. If you're going to come back, you want to make a splash, and a movie is how you do it. It's just, is the brand even strong enough to like get mainstream theatrical success at this point? I don't even know if it is. Like, we've not seen a Star Trek movie in like 10 years.
Yeah, and it's disgusting to me that we live in a time where William Shatner is alive and kicking and eating Raisin Bran, and they haven't found a way to shoehorn him into anything Trek. Why they're not building at least some cameo or maybe some bookend where it's an older Kirk, whatever, that you've got Captain James T. Kirk. Make something Trek with him. He was originally supposed to be in the 2009 Trek. There was a scene with him, and JJ cut it out. It was scripted but not filmed. So
JJ is straight up the master of like fumbling amazing opportunities. It's like, hey, you want to have Han, Luke, and Leia in the same movie together? Nah, we don't need that. You want to bring Kirk back and have him interact with Spock again for like the first time in 20 years? Nah, let's not bother. Like,
the craziest part is
they
saw him fumble it and they said, "Come over here to Star Wars." You know, like,
well, the thing is, his movie did make like a shit zillion dollars, so that's probably all they cared about at the end of the day. Like, Star Trek 2009 was financially successful. It was dog shit in terms of storytelling and characters and stuff, but it made money. That's all they would have cared about, sadly.
The engine room was shot at like a beer manufacturing facility. It was ridiculous.
It was very obviously so as well. You could tell the big hoppers that were everywhere.
It was like Miller or whatever. Yeah, it was bad.
I mean, like something like, fuck me, Wrath of Khan was done on a fraction of the budget of Star Trek 2009, right? And they managed to mock up an engine room that looked like an engine room. It was science fiction-y. It wasn't a huge set, but it did what it needed to do, story-wise. You're telling me they couldn't have bothered their arses to do that? with all the like hundreds of millions of dollars they had at their disposal for Star Trek 2009, they couldn't have made an engine room set. They had to go to a brewery.
Yeah.
I mean, it's wild, man. It really is.
Yeah. Well,
Drinker, wouldn't there be a problem with the idea of like relying on Taylor Sheridan stuff? Isn't he out of Paramount?
He is.
Yeah. So like,
Well, but
they really
yeah,
can't. They can't really
he's-
fall back on him anymore after a certain. I don't know when he's
Yeah.
officially out, but
He's out, but his shows are now like in the hands of other people, aren't they? So like, you know, he begun things like Tulsa King and Landman and stuff, but then you've got new showrunners who actually manage them, but like they're still running. And there's
someone
still a
just
draw
said he's
for
out in
people.
2029. Okay, so that's long
Right.
enough where it could be fine, I guess. I didn't know what year. I just remember reading that he was out.
Those things have been carrying that streaming service, though. Like,
Yeah.
whether it's
It's crazy.
Landman,
Yeah.
Mobland, or not Mobland, sorry, Landman, the
Tulsa
Yellowstone, and all the different spin-offs and stuff. that they
Even
do
Mayor
now.
of Kingstown, like they're all
Mhm.
they're all pretty successful. They don't cost a huge amount of money to make, but they draw in the crowds. And
Yeah.
again, they appeal to that like middle American market that's non-political, that isn't interested in being preached to and stuff, but just wants like good, solid entertainment.
It's
what
funny
things
because
like-
for years we've all been saying, "What's the next thing?" You know, because it was comic book films, and we always say, "Like, what's the next thing?" It seems like it was just middle America, random job, but dramatic version of it is what it
Yeah.
ended up being.
Yeah. Like whether it's cattle ranching in Yellowstone, whether it's oil drilling, or whether it's just like good old fashioned organized crime in Tulsa King. Like,
Yeah.
but they have fun with it, and like they make entertaining shows. They have good casts usually. That's all you need a lot of the time. Like it's not rocket science.
It is crazy. It's like it seems has he had a show that didn't go over well? I know there's like, you know, pockets of people who don't like this one or that one, but it seems like literally everything Taylor Sheridan does is just immediately successful out of the gate.
I think what was the prequel to Yellowstone? It's like not 1926. It's like the other one.
1886 or something like that.
Yeah, I don't think
It's
that
the
was
one
a
with
huge hit.
that was the one with Helen Mirren and Harrison Ford, right?
No, that's 1926.
Oh, okay. It's hard to keep track.
Out of
Yeah.
context, it's very funny.
Again, I don't think it was an out and out flop. I just don't think
1883, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. It just didn't quite hit like the others did.
Is he going to do all 2,000 years at some point?
Yeah, it's going to keep going back. It'd be like cavemen, like hunting mammoths and stuff, just in the same place.
It's like the Anno games. It just every 50 or so years they just make a new one.
Well, I mean, the thing is as well, right? What is the
How are they going to make a show that is subliminally telling you that Indians are the real victims the entire time if they go all the way back to like the Ice Age, though, Drinker?
Yeah, they're
Like,
gonna like
problem.
displace the Neanderthals, and like they're the victims now.
Yeah.
Like, it just depends how far back you want to go, I guess. We did talk a little bit about the Paramount buyout of Warner Brothers and like what the implications could be for it, but like I am interested what your guys' takes is on this. Like, what are we going to see in terms of like changes to the Warner Brothers really production pipeline and like the kind of movies that they're going to be putting out, and also like the reactions that we've gotten from Hollywood and like the mainstream media about this, because I get the impression they are not happy about it for the reasons that you described already, that David Ellison is not necessarily down with the message in the way that a lot of other Hollywood executives are. He's obviously got ties to the White House, and they do not seem to like that buyout of Paramount with all of their huge slate of of shows and stuff and IPs that they own, and Warner Brothers and the news networks that they're going to own as well. I mean, I don't know. How do you guys see it playing out?
Lots of layoffs. That's coming. That's
Yeah.
pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Duplicated jobs, lots of layoffs. And like we were talking earlier about Star Trek, an assessment of the IP they have and how to best. I don't know that, like, look, I think a Star Trek movie makes sense, but Star Trek is ultimately a TV franchise. It just is episodic adventures of a crew. I think Star Wars is a movie franchise that doesn't work as a TV show, as we've had so many hours and hours of proof of that. But the other thing they have to contend with is there's not a lot of production happening in Hollywood, in California as a state. And what are they going to do with all that land? There are countless videos they turn up in my feed about empty studio lots, all this space, all this land. No one's making movies here. And they've announced that they're doing 15 theatrical releases through Paramount, 15 with WB every year. Okay.
That's a lot of movies.
Well, is it? I mean, for WB, that's 15. You have 15 chances, and WB is about to have their first flop with The Bride. Even Alan Ing saw it, my colleague at Film Threat.
They are hyping the shit out of that movie, and I'm not buying it for 1 second. It looks god awful in the trailers.
He said it's a feminist fever dream, and even Grace Randolph said it was too feminist for her. So it's tracking. It's made for 90 million. It's tracking for a $15 million opening. Okay, you're gonna see choices of films that will get greenlit or theatrical be much more safe, and something that Hollywood has forgotten: these mid to lower level movies. Where are they? Yeah, nothing. Not everything can be a $200 million James Gunn superhero fest. It can't.
Fuck.
Like where are these under 50 million? We'll take a big swing. We'll take a risk. Like genres that have died, and we've talked about this a lot. Go to the theater. What's playing? A teen sex comedy, a romantic comedy, an action. Those genres aren't really there. Not as reliably as they used to be, where you can, I don't think anyone goes to the theater not knowing what they're going to see. You know what you're going to see.
Yeah.
So
I might argue that comedy is making some kind of attempt to come back now. We're getting a lot of these long running franchises. Like we had Naked Gun last year. We had like another Happy Gilmore movie. I'm not sure anyone was really crying out for that, but whatever. No. We've got another scary movie. What is it? Scary Movie 6?
6.
Yeah, 6. Yeah. That's coming out. I feel like there's an attempt to bring back a bit of anarchic comedy that's a little bit irreverent. Like, didn't they cop a bit of flack for their trailer? And like the director straight up came out and said, I don't care who's fucking offended by this. Like, that's the point. Good. And it's like, well, okay, that's neat. Oh. It would be nice to get comedies again. I don't know if it's going to be.
The problem is it's all reliant on like legacy stuff, though. There's not really new comedies.
Happy Gilmore 2, Scary Movie 6, the Naked Gun reboot, and even like Spaceballs 2, for example. Is that the return of comedy or just an adjacent branch of the obsessive nostalgia culture we're already in?
Well, that's exactly right.
Very good question.
We showed a clip on Film Thread of Vince Vaughn talking about what happened to those R-rated raunchy comedies, original. They'll make them, but only if, this is how gutless the execs are in Hollywood. They'll only take a risk on something if it's based on previously successful IP. Naked Gun, scary movie, like you pointed out. So they'll do that because if the movie fails, they can say, well, Battleship is a known brand based on a game by Milton Bradley that's been around for 75 years. So they can point to the IP failed. Lore. Yeah, the IP failed, not the executive failed. And that's what's gutless about Hollywood now. Very few original comedies, although I will recommend one. I don't know if it's come to the UK yet. Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie.
Oh, yeah, you talked to me about that. You messaged me about it.
Fantastic. I don't want to tell you anything about it. Incredibly creative, 17 years in the making, still in theaters here. You seek out that film. I think MauLer, you'd really love it. The how wildly creative it is.
Battleship's a national treasure. How dare you?
My God.
Everybody knows the story of Battleship. Come on, that was
Battleship is superb if you go into with the right mindset.
You highlighted somebody said Tropic Thunder 2. I've always wondered how they could even do that. It would have to be like a documentary about the first movie, basically.
Yeah.
It's one of the few that I would be interested to see. Actually,
there's a way to do it perfectly, but I still think they would.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise would 100% come back for it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
That was pretty much the last of the great
like-
comedies, I think.
They gotta be willing to actually be edgy, not just like safe edgy where they do some jokes like ooh, pushing the line. Like, no, you really got to piss people off with it. Like, oh god, because the legacy of Tropic Thunder is so strong.
Yeah.
So I would rather them not try.
And
Like,
they
don't
just
fuck it
like,
up.
and as Chris was saying there, like they don't have the balls now to take risks like that, especially risking offending people. I wish they did, but like when it's a big movie like Tropic Thunder, which is going to have like what $100 million budget easily to do a sequel,
I mean,
you're
the
not going
obvious
to want to
thing
take
is,
so
like,
many risks on it.
The story would start with like Ben Stiller's filming Tropic Thunder 10, and you know the whole it's like, and it's running out of steam, and he needs to get the band back together or something. You know, you could easily do that as a premise, and then involve all kinds of crazy shit.
I mean, it's not like Robert Downey Jr.'s,
Busy.
Yeah, it's
So,
like,
he's a little busy right now.
well, I mean, once
wouldn't
he gets fucking Doomsday out of the way, he's probably going to be out of
Yeah,
Marvel.
he's busy reviewing the 17th reiteration of his script for Doomsday while they're still filming it. So.
What if they had
that's
him
gonna be
white
hilarious.
but still have the black voice? Like he felt guilty about a race swap or something, but he's still doing the black voice. Like, that could be good.
Or go a couple. I mean, you could always do a completely different race just to try and balance it out. Like make him something like make him Hispanic, Asian, something.
I think you would honestly have to you'd have to account for that, and you'd have to account for modern culture within the movie. And like he goes on like this apology tour, for having done blackface and stuff, and it's almost like he's become shunned in Hollywood, and he's like a burnout now, and like they have to get him back on top somehow. Like they have to like lure him out of being a recluse.
Well, he refuses to do it.
Like he's on a show like The View, and they eventually get around to arguing just how wrong he's been, that it's also racist that he stopped doing it. Like they argue every day. He's like, I don't even. What am I supposed to do? Like, what?
Do you think
to this day? Oh, go ahead, Ryan.
Do you think that when it comes to comedy, and we not seeing, like, you go back to the early 2000s, and it just feels like there were so many classics, original comedies that came out during that time. Do you think that now, with how prevalent social media is, and YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that, are people getting that kind of like a similar level of entertainment, laughing at shit, thinking things are funny through social media, or things that they can just have on demand at any moment rather than needing a theatrical experience? Because there are some things that social media can't replace in terms of storytelling. Like, going to see Dune in IMAX at the movie theater, that's not something that's easily replaceable by watching YouTube or watching a couple people you think are funny on a live stream. That can satisfy that hunger for comedy content, as opposed to the stuff that's like truly irreplaceable.
I think you've got like you've got less constraints on how risky the artist wants to be when it's something like YouTube or podcasts or whatever, because like they could be like small scale, but like they can be happy to take risks and be edgy and make all the jokes that are like considered offensive, and that might be super appealing for you, which is fair enough. But there's no like shared cultural moment for any of that. It's just going to be very much like a thing that you discovered.
Well, I feel like we're also potentially ignoring another, like a whole aspect of comedy films where, take for example the Cornetto trilogy. They're excellent stories. Like, we could have been having them as well, but they're completely out. Just and there's a thing like because I'm with you, Ryan. The internet is so entertaining. It's sometimes better than any given comedy movie, even in the past, however many years. But the whole idea when you go to the theater for a comedy film is they're about to provide you top tier jokes all in a row. It's supposed to be like a machine gun process of you're supposed to be crying, laughing, right? Like your face hurts from how entertained you are. I don't know if it's just like that's the thing I want back. When we have like a Naked Gun or whatever the hell happened, and people are like, hey, it was all right. I'm like, man, are we doomed? Are we never going to get a movie that can make me like laugh out loud several times in a row throughout the whole thing? It's just like I miss that experience. That's what I
always pull the reins right when you're about to get to that level. They pull the reins back.
Yeah, When you can tell like that was a boardroom decision. It's like, ooh, we better not go there. Like, let's just make it clear that we're on the right side of history with all of this. And like, that's
or they do that thing. They do that thing where they turn it into an ironic kind of well, we know that this is wrong, kind of like we were saying, like the apology tour, but it wouldn't be done for laughs. It's they pull it back in a way that, oh yeah, we know that this is wrong, so we're just going to stop it now. And
it's safe, edgy, where it's all very pampered and the edges are shaved off. And as someone just said in chat, and I completely agree, any of the comedy films we've cited, none of them are as funny as watching Ryan and Jeremy argue about Dave Filoni for 40 minutes. So I agree.
Let me do a couple. Let me do a couple.
We're redoing that. We're Hollywood with that because we've done that 10 fucking times already.
Sequels.
People are asking for the sequel over and over again.
There's a couple of questions here. Hail Open Bar regarding the Paramount merger. I'm curious to hear what you guys think of the controversy surrounding Scream 7, especially Melissa Barrera's firing and its baffling box office success despite it being terrible. Yeah, so they had to recast the lead actress on that, didn't they?
I don't know.
Half of those words mean nothing to me.
They didn't recast her. They just didn't bring her character back. So Barrera and Jenna Ortega were in Scream 5 and 6.
Yeah, they brought 2 minor characters back from that movie, and they brought back Neve Campbell, her character, Sidney Prescott. They sort of put the band back together. So it's nostalgia. I think the Ghostface reveal is the worst in the series of the films. The second half doesn't work, but that movie, like, it gave the audience what they wanted, at least for the first half. It's $84 million at the box office. That is, for the series, biggest opening. It'll top 100 million. That boycott did nothing. Nobody cared. It's kind of like whenever I see those protests, which do happen around, not necessarily where I live, but in Burbank or LA, it's a nuisance. I'm sure we've all had experiences with annoying protesters. They're not having an impact. I think people are as tired as them as they're tired of the people online who complain about diversity and representation or whatever. Well, that's why I'm excited about Scary Movie 6. They open with a they them joke. I saw that trailer in front of Scream 7. The crowd went nuts. Pack screening. They saw that joke alone was like, we can make fun of all this dumb BS now. So
I don't think anybody should get fired for their political opinion as a general rule. However, Hollywood has clearly made that not the rule. With that being said, no one gives a fuck about Melissa Barrera in terms of
I think most
role
of
in the
chat don't
Scream
even know who that is.
franchise.
Yeah, I was going to say, Ryan,
here.
I have no idea who that is. So yeah, that's
there's a reason you don't know. She's
I'm going to look her up.
She is Timu Rachel Zegler. That's who she is.
Okay.
And
Melissa Barrera. Hold on.
Yeah, and she was
Imagine
in
being a
Scream
cheaper
5
version of Rachel Zegler. Jesus Christ.
Wow, you guys are not kidding. Holy shit.
She was in Scream 5 and 6. She was constantly posting when the October 7th stuff in Israel happened. Like I said, I don't think anybody should get fired for their political opinion, but you do have such thing as dead weight when there's somebody who's just bringing so many problems and they're not going to be a box office draw, and they got rid of her. Everybody freaked out. The internet made it seem like everyone was going to boycott this. We have flags in our bio. We promise we're not showing up. And it's a massive success. Opened 50% higher than the last one did because they actually brought Neve Campbell back. And to the super chatter's point, despite the movie being terrible, it being such a big success, are you really saying that Scream 7 is finally where this franchise dropped off? Like, it's Scream 7.
When I saw the trailer for Scream 7, I was having Scorcher flashbacks for Tropic Thunder, where it was like, this time, Sydney, it's personal. And I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah, because it was just business before, you know.
But I think that's
answer.
I think that's what people forget about the franchise. It is a parody franchise. Like, Scream is a parody of horror movies.
It's a satire. It's
satire
satire rather than parody. But so the first two had some sort of validity. Like, one mocks like the slasher flick,
very
and the
self-aware.
second one mocks the concept of sequels, how everything has to be bigger and stuff. After that, they kind of didn't know what to do, but it's like, well, we're making money off them, so why wouldn't we want to keep making them?
Right. It makes fun of the tropes while doing the tropes.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
very meta in that way.
It was very 90s, like fake, meta. Yeah. for sure.
I do want to just answer somebody in chat. Ryan Conley. She does not really have an ass, but based on my search of the images when I was looking up who she is, she thinks she does have an
Well,
ass.
share screen. If you'd share screen, we can all judge.
Oh, but it's on my phone.
Yeah.
I mean, I can show you on my phone.
Well,
if that's
okay,
what I can.
well,
Hold
doing
on.
the
But like,
science part of the
Yeah,
stream
for,
now.
for science,
Yeah.
for science, I'll.
Oh my god, high tech here. That is
Yeah,
not
hold on.
gonna work.
I can't really do that, but yeah, she thinks she has an ass. That's the way to put it.
Well,
I'm sure if Drinker, all you have to do is type in her name, and it's like a picture of her, and then like 7 pictures of her with just her underwear.
So Melissa Barrera
Mhm.
ass.
There you
That's what
go.
I'm going here. Oh wait, I can't show that. No way.
The one where she has nothing on. Yeah, you probably shouldn't show. That
Yeah. Oh damn.
she clearly thinks she has like everything, but
I might have to take ass out of it.
it's not on my regular
Right, I'm
screen.
removing
sorry.
the
I
ass.
can't-
You
I
never
can't
want
share
to
the
take ass
screen.
out of it.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
after she got fired, Jenna Ortega quit out of protest.
I'm
basically.
a very white guy from Eastern European descent, and I have more of an ass than her. That's all I have to say.
And so everyone was like, look, you just lost your 2 biggest stars. This movie's going to flop. It's going to fail. And again, it's an example of like things like The Acolyte or that type of crew. You know what I mean? You can be really loud on social media with these super huge activist people, but it means almost nothing to normies.
Honestly, Ryan, I think a lot of them are hypocritical on this anyway and went and saw it, just didn't say that they did. Like,
I mean, that's the
it always
best I
comes
can do
across
in
that
terms
way.
of like, I'm trying to do her justice here. I don't know.
She has like random traits from actresses we've seen. Like there's definitely some like Aubrey Plaza in there. There's definitely some like, there's just random traits. It seems like they just took things that kind of work if she was made in a lab.
I only see 2 traits.
They're not even they're
It's
not
those
even that
eyes,
great,
isn't it?
Chris.
They're
Come on.
quite mysterious. Oh well,
I
yeah.
expect
mean,
more out of Chris Gore than
I'd be lying if I said I give a fuck one way or the other whether she's in this movie. It's like a franchise I stopped caring about like 10 years ago, and an actress I never cared about. But yeah, whatever.
If you had told me it was Scream 9 we're talking about, I wouldn't have said like 9. I'd just been like,
What was the Scream? I think it was maybe Scream 5, where like Neve Campbell was in it, and it was like the killers were trying to capitalize on like internet fame.
that had to
And
be
they were
5.
They were trying to do like a copycat thing, and like Neve Campbell finally like kills like the last one, and she's like,
the
yeah,
last
you forgot.
one.
She's like, because there's two killers I think in that one, and she's
Well,
like, yeah, you
often-
forgot.
That's the thing, right? They'll often
Yeah,
do
and
that.
her line, she gave a good line at the end where it's like, you forgot the golden rule of sequels. Don't fuck with the originals. Or no, remakes. That was what it was.
I think I've seen 2 Scream movies. I remember them being very similar, so I was just like, I'm just done.
I say Neve Campbell. I have never in my
Say
life.
Nev as well.
Okay,
thought that
I'm
it
glad
was
I'm not
not
the
Nev.
only one
Yeah.
who heard Neve and was like, "What the fuck did he just
We
say?"
were all letting Drinker get away with that. Can you
Yeah,
believe
I
it?
did,
It's
but
nice
now, like,
stuff.
you
Waiting
can feel
for
free
the
to call me
time,
out
but-
on it, but like, how does one say it?
Nev.
Like,
I think
I'm
Nev.
going to Google this shit.
Neve Campbell.
Nev.
I guess
Like,
when you
as
get to a
if there's not
certain
an
like
E on the end
latitude,
of
it
her
just
name.
becomes Neve.
Do you hate women this much, Drinker?
I mean, obviously, right?
I
It's
think so. What
that
we
has
need to
nothing
do
to
is
do
we need to
with it.
pull up random names for an hour and just have Drinker pronounce them. That would be a great show.
I'm just
And
trying to.
also, every time we pull one up, he has to take a shot. So it gets
I'm
worse
actually
as
watching
we
a
go
video
along.
on how to pronounce.
It's from that.
I mean, it does say Neve on Google. Like,
Yes,
like the
because
way I
Google
said
is
it.
an AI that doesn't understand how languages work properly.
We just need
Well,
to
I'm
ask her.
Scottish and I don't understand how languages work properly
That
either.
is, I mean, in fairness, they did take your language away from you and say, "Hey, you're fucking speaking English now."
You know,
Yeah, I'm still struggling with it.
Ryan, you would have loved it. We were doing Night of the Seven Kingdoms free fab, and Platoon was sort of leading it. And every time he was saying Maykar, he was saying Maykor over and over until I said, like, you got to stop doing that. And then from that point on, he got so self-conscious, he kept pronouncing it wrong in different ways. He's like Maykor, Maykor, Maykla, Maykor, and he's like, fuck.
Kind of like the show itself.
Yeah.
It's nice, MauLer, that you just like demolished his self-esteem in that moment. Like now he's going to question everything.
I swear, I was
Platoon-
trying to help.
It's funny though because Platoon can easily just use the argument. I'm from where this language was invented. Shut up, everybody.
No, I gave him the excuse, was what Ryan's alluding to. There's like 3 different pronunciations in universe, so you'll be fine. Just say whatever you want.
Platoon can always
Fire
appeal to
call.
like poshness as well. Like that's just how we say it in my social cast. I don't know about you, peasant. So I mean, he's got that on his side.
It's just my accent. Leave me alone.
Yeah. What was this one here? Got my kidney removed due to cancer. Oh shit, man.
Oh.
Well,
Fuck
I'll put
cancer.
I'll
You
put
can't
it
drink.
back.
You're fine.
Drinks are on me. Love everyone on the show. Cheers to the bar room. Huzzah. Well, cheers to you, sir. Thank you for that.
Huzzah.
And I'm
Sorry about
tremendously
cancer.
sorry about
I'm
your
sorry.
kidney.
I'm sorry
Yeah.
to hear that, man.
What's it got here?
Well, welcome
Yeah.
to the club. I've only got one kidney, so I was born that way.
Is it a
Oh.
good
Rare.
kidney though? It must be
It's
like a
a good
super
one.
strong one because it's
Working
doing the work
double
of two.
time.
It's
Yeah.
larger. It's larger. Yes, I have a huge
Ah.
kidney.
Did it like absorb the other kidney into
Did
it
it
to
eat
make
the
a
other
I have
super
no
kidney?
idea.
It's like that twin that took the other that ate the
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't donate a kidney because I only have one.
Yeah, they will not let Trek rest, just like Star Wars. Great to see DarkHour on the panel. No, it's not. It's not great to have. him
Nah,
here.
honestly,
He
I'm,
shows
I'm,
up.
I'm,
outta here.
I'm one of the shittiest guests. I'm not gonna
Get
lie.
off the stage, you bum.
I'm aware of that though, so it's good. Also, Chris, you can donate a kidney, just only once.
Yes,
So
upon my death.
Here's a question, right? Would you rather A, the final few seasons of Game of Thrones be as good as the first, or B, for Rings of Power to have been good? I personally want a good Rings of Power as I never got into Game of Thrones. That is a good question.
I think it's
I-
better for the world if we have the Game of Thrones be better. Fuck Rings of Power. I don't care.
Yeah, because Game of Thrones started so fucking well, and if you could maintain that level of quality right to the end, that would
What
go
a
down in history as one of the
legendary-
greatest shows of
yeah.
all time. So
Yeah.
I think it's better for media in general if that was better.
It's a tough question because, like, when it's phrased that way, I think it's relatively easy to say if all of Game of Thrones was as good as the first couple seasons. If the question is posed, would you rather have that happen or a fucking masterpiece adaptation of the Silmarillion? That's like a different question than would Rings of Power, which is a made up bullshit fucking thing, if it just happened to be good but still made up bullshit.
If they said five seasons guaranteed of Rings of Power and it was better than Jackson's trilogy, it's like, oh shit.
Now we're talking.
That's nearly an impossible choice, though, to be honest with you, because you're gonna.
The thing
matter
is,
what-
this trilogy would still exist, and so like we've still got that, and we just won't talk too much about the Hobbit and pretend that didn't exist. But it's like the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which is like the main narrative focal point of Tolkien's universe. As long as they got that right, then we can rest easy with that at least.
New bottle of tequila, everybody.
Always good.
Sweet.
I'm just gearing up for us to talk about lanterns because that's my favorite character.
We're about to.
Ever.
There's one more super chat I was going to ask here. Evening, gents. Presuming they ever get around to making a Roberts Rebellion show, what do you guys think of Jared Harris as John Aaron?
They're 100% going to do a Roberts Rebellion show. There's no way they're not.
I mean, I haven't really thought too much about a casting for John Aaron, but I think Jared Harris would work.
Sure, yeah.
He's a solid actor. So, I mean, I don't know enough about the
I
character.
stand by
to,
like most of the cast for that. It should just be unknowns that are excellent actors. Like really take it seriously and try to launch a new show, sort of thing. Get like a legacy actor for maybe the Mad King. That could be fun.
You need a couple high profile ones for some of the older characters like that. You know what I mean? Like, if like Hoster Tully and John Aaron and some of these established lords. But I do agree. Very young, relatively little known actors for Robert and Ned and characters like that.
Well, that was what made the cast of Game of Thrones so good, was that you had a bunch of young people who, were hungry, and then you had your established great actors. You had your Sean Beans, you had your, so yeah, you definitely. I'm not sure if you're gonna make it Robert's Rebellion, though. Yeah, you definitely have to have an established actor.
And somebody says Ned and Robert are teens. I know they're not going to do them as teens because of like all the implications surrounding like the story, just like they did for rest of Game of Thrones.
They age up everybody.
Yeah, they'll age everybody up a little bit to make it a little more appropriate on screen.
Yeah, because with MauLer, you and I talked about like the actor who played Ned in the flashbacks, who I really like. You know, he was superb in I Swear.
Oh,
Not so
Maya,
much in
right?
Rings
Yeah.
of Power, but like that's not his fault. And it's like, yeah, he's obviously too old now to play Ned if they ever got round to making a Robert's Rebellion
Somebody
series.
just cast,
but it's a real shame.
Somebody just cast MauLer as Rhaegar. So
Fair enough. I like this one, actually. I don't even know where to start with it. Apparently, there are people that call Drinker a horse fucker. I mean, like, my relationship with horses is none of your business, okay?
all that means,
Like,
I mean,
things
I mean,
happen.
the
Because of him always saying James Gunn Superman by James Gunn. It's weird.
So the implication that you're a horse fucker, I mean, you must be able to satisfy a horse. That's the way it is. So
Yeah, the horse doesn't fuck me. I fuck the horse, apparently. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. I'm not sure I see the connection, though. I don't understand where they're going
you're
with that one.
Scottish. Something about being out in the
Maybe
Well,
like sheep flocker.
islands.
It's going to be sheep rather than horses, I think. They're easier to catch, or so I'm told.
You got a lot of wool you can hold on to while you're back there.
Exactly, yeah. You know, they're less likely to fight back as well. James Gunn is a modern-day Harold Hecula. Gen X knows this name. I mean, I'm going to have to look towards Chris Gore on this one because
I don't.
I'm looking them up.
I don't know that.
Apparently, that's my thing today.
Harold.
just start
Hecula?
researching.
I'm gonna look.
Harold Hecula.
Hecula. It didn't even. I got to Harold Heck, and it hasn't actually finished it yet. So
Oh,
okay, is it Harold Hecklu? Was that right?
You mean
Yeah, there you
Harold
go, look.
Heckle?
Oh, Hecula. Sorry.
I think
I mean, if
that's
it doesn't come up
wrong.
with that, then it probably isn't gonna.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. I got nothing.
Unless you misspelled it or something. I don't know.
I mean,
Harold,
you know,
Harold Heckle
Hecula does that to you.
I don't see
Yeah.
Hecula.
Anyway, I'll move on from that. Random Tangents Daily says, Hail to the bar. Don't even have movie related to say, but just that A Night of the Seven Kingdoms was incredible. A great mixture of the tones of Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings, and that Tottenham Hotspur are going down. I mean, I wish I could care about the Spurs, but I don't give a shit about them. But
I'm a
yeah.
I'm a Wolverhampton's Wanderer fan. So
Why? You're American. What do you even know about British football?
they had a really cool symbol, and I was like, I can get behind that team.
You just
Okay.
sound like every a Song of Ice and Fire fan of a particular house. They have a really cool symbol.
Yeah, I was like, that looks fucking awesome. It's a wolf.
like
Why not?
Don't care about their history or anything. Just fuck it.
Actually,
Nice
I don't know anything
great.
about their history.
The casting for season 2 that came out yesterday was interesting. I'm sure you saw a lot of reaction to that, MauLer.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. While we were streaming, I was confused. So I wasn't actually sure what was being talked about because I hadn't seen the news.
So
But
who's
though-
cast?
The Eustace casting is top tier.
So is the Lady
Um,
Rohan casting. I think it's great. But Sir Bennis is a character in the second Duncan Egg novella, The Sworn Sword. And of all the characters they decided to race swap, it's Sir Bennis. He's now black, which doesn't make any sense for a variety of reasons. But it is probably the funniest thing they could have ever done. Because without going into too many spoilers, to give you a brief rundown of the qualities that make up Sir Bennis, he is an absolute piece of shit. He's dishonorable as fuck. He's impulsively violent. He's a thief. He treats small folk like shit. He robs people. And oh, by the way, his biggest characteristic that we know of is he smells like shit.
Sounds like my kind of guy.
And that is who they decided, you know who could play this role perfectly? A black guy.
Honestly, a Scottish guy could have done a better job.
Yeah.
What are we ever going to get to the end of this like ridiculous race swapping stuff in these like
No.
medieval fantasy shows, or is this just how it's going to be now? Is it something we just have to learn to live with?
Well, the way you'll know if it's officially done is when you see redheads back in media.
We should have a redhead in that season, actually.
Yeah.
Lady Rohan should be, but it's so stupid that there's no reason to do it, because guess what? The people that you're doing this to appeal to, or the people that you think this is acceptable for, guess what they're saying now? Well, you're going to have more than just one black guy in this show, because if you just cast him as that bad guy, as this awful piece of shit, well, that's going to look really bad and racist. So you need more. Like it's never going to be enough. And so now we can only race swap to quote myself from my Batman review, good black people? Are those the only we can have? We can't have any bad people, dishonorable people, pieces of shit who happen to be black? That's weird.
It's a wild world that we've created now with this, and it's just, I feel like there's no easy solution to it now, because you can't, if you just stop doing it, a blanket like ban on it or whatever, then obviously you're going to get like all the backlash in the world. But carrying on with it creates innumerable problems, like you've described, Ryan. Like in this specific example, in this specific universe, it creates negative connotations that then exist in the meta outside the show, and it's just like, where does it even end? I don't know, man. It's a weird one, but it's a problem that feels like it's got no solution now. It's just like created more problems.
Yeah, I mean, you're finally seeing people start to make fun of it. Like, of course, Scary Movie 6 we talked about earlier. In Begonia, I don't know if any of you saw Begonia. The opening scene with Emma Stone, she's doing some corporate training video, and they're making fun. She's like, I'm saying the word diversity too much. Diversity. And they're like making fun of it. Sharing this, I don't know if you want to share this, Drinker.
Yeah,
this is a post. This is a post that went viral. Just
yeah.
Have you seen this?
Yeah.
I mean, we all know we were the bad guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Bro, those first two things, that's what I got attacked for kind of hinting at in the Batman.
Yeah.
Like,
well, how dare you read?
Well, I think it's
fucking Batman. Come on.
And it's not even like, because if you pick up one specific example there, it's not enough. But like, this kind of encompasses the whole scheme of modern writing, like the rules that are applied to every movie, every TV show. And once you see it, you can't unsee it, and you start noticing it in everything. And as we've discussed before, it gets to the point where it's like, it actually impinges on the storytelling, to the point where, like, okay, if there's a murder mystery or whatever, or if there's like a conspiracy where someone's like working against everyone else, well, I know it's going to be the straight white guy who's the villain. Of course he has to be, because there's the rules of writing dictate that no one else is allowed to be portrayed in a negative light. If there's an argument between a man and a woman, or a contest of some sort, I know the woman's going to win because she fucking has to. The rules dictate that she has to. And so the story doesn't have any drama anymore, because I know exactly how every single situation is going to play out, purely based on who's fucking in it. And they don't seem to realize the problem that creates. But when you've seen it about 500 times in a row, yeah, it gets a little bit tiring. I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay, I do have a question. What the hell does troons are shoehorned?
I think you know what a troon is.
Yeah.
I don't know what a troon is. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's
that
a
is
person
a way to
who's
refer to a transgender person.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'm sorry.
They would call it a slur. I didn't say that, but
Look, I've seen almost every theatrical release film this year up to now, and I'll tell you that these rules apply to everything. Only 2 films kind of broke that, which was Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, and Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. 2 films I would recommend that came out this year, but every movie I've seen, I saw even a fairly decent film, well, it started decent, called Psycho Killer, written by Andrew Kevin Walker, who did 7. And black female lead, she's a CHP officer whose husband is killed in the line of duty, who's tracking down a serial killer. And everything played out exactly as I thought. She's a girl boss. She's ahead of the FBI, tracking the killer down. There are no stakes. It makes movies boring when these rules are adhered to. So it's awful.
So you tell me you're not excited for the X-Files reboot?
No,
I mean, have a black
the X-Files reboot could be really good if it wasn't called the X-Files, and it was black investigators tracking down conspiracy theories in the black community. It could also be funny. You could
that would be a comedy.
You know that show,
fictionalized Candace Owens. They're kind of batshit crazy. Like you could pull from the headlines and take, black people have been known to think about. We lost DarkHour.
He lost his internet after he used a slur against transgender people. It just
right.
cut out.
Once he mentioned Troons, he was done, man.
Yeah.
But you know, here's the problem. Ryan Coogler wanted to do something, and he can only sell it if it's attached to IP. That's why all these things suck. Weak-willed executives, right? I mean, Sinners was really kind of going to be Blade, right? The sort of the world building, the era it was made, and whatnot, and it was original, a surprise success, but it's everything has to be hung on some old IP because gutless executives won't do original things.
I honestly thought it was going to be like Coogler would only do it if he got to like race swap the leads because he only wants to work with black actors.
That's possible. That's possible.
Because, like, I mean, I'm just going by the track record of what he's made, man. It's like, well, it's hard to ignore.
And if that's what he wants to make and is comfortable making, then go for it. Like, you know what I mean? But maybe let's not do X-Files. As Chris was saying there, like, stop latching on to like established things that other people made and then using them to like get your own shitty projects off the ground. Like, why do you have to do that? What gives you the right to do that? Like, make your own stuff. You would think he'd have so much cachet in the industry right now, is Sinners being the most nominated movie in the history of fucking movies, which I think is...
Ryan, you're wrong there. It's not just the most nominated movie. It is the greatest movie in the history of humanity. Get it right.
I am sorry. I specifically avoided saying that, but it is the most nominated movie, and which I think is embarrassing, like truly. I don't think Sinners is bad. I think Sinners is a fine movie with a rather mediocre plot, some good acting, some decent cinematography, and a kind of a wonky plot and characters. But it should not be the most nominated movie in history. What are we talking about?
I think that ends up being to its detriment then, because it's like it's a good movie. I liked it. I thought the cinematography was great. The performances were pretty solid. But when you overhype it to the point of like absurdity, it actually takes away from the film, because then people can just see what you're doing. It's the Black Panther effect. Like, that was a mediocre superhero film, but because of the cast, because of like what it was dealing with, it suddenly gets hyped up as like the greatest superhero movie of all time. It's not
mediocre. That's kind
but
of.
There's also there's way more categories than there were years ago. So what does that really mean? When you have double the categories, it's not as important as back when Return of the King did it, you know?
Also, last year, the lineup of movies kind of sucked. It's last year was not a good year. Even movies people thought like this could be amazing didn't turn out that way. And all 3 Marvel movies released last year struck out. I mean, they underperformed. Not surprising. But yeah, last year was a bad year. And so that, rose to the top on the backs of stuff that was not very good. So it was a weak year. But one battle after another will win Best Picture. My prediction. Because Hollywood is saying to you, fuck off. That's what we're going to give the award to.
I watched it on a plane. It was okay. Wasn't great. Wasn't bad. I was okay with it.
Yeah, but Best Picture? Come on.
No, I mean, that's not something that should be Best Picture. If someone's saying, oh, that was okay, that's not a Best Picture.
Well, but a lot of times Hollywood, more in recent years, and why the significance of the Oscars has just diminished dramatically, is that they pick movies based on what message they're trying to push. I mean, Drinker, you should have trademarked the message. Why do you not sell t-shirts?
He practically did. I mean, come on.
That, why do you not sell t-shirts with that? But that's especially when it comes to, I've seen all the Oscar shorts every year. They release them, at least in LA. You can see the Oscar shorts. I can predict exactly which ones will win based on the message they're putting out, or at least get it down to the 2, I think will win.
It took Amelia Perez's lead trans actor shitting all over immigrants or something for that to not sweep everything.
Yeah. Well, that was the whole controversy that was sort of outside of
a year ago at this point. It feels like yesterday, and it's a year ago.
It is wild, actually, how quickly that time has passed. Like,
yeah,
a whole year. Tell you what, right? We have the Lanterns trailer that's
Here
just
we
come
go.
out today. Are you guys ready to be whelmed? It's like,
I mean,
I'm being generous
I've
there.
been a Green Lantern fan
Generous
my whole
again,
life,
yeah.
so yes, I'm ready.
All right, cool. Let's see if I can bring it up here. I'll have to keep pausing it, obviously, for reasons.
Fucking copyright bullshit.
You'll get hit. They won't actually block it, but if you challenge it, you'll win quick.
Yeah, this ain't my first copyright rodeo, sadly.
Yeah. But sometimes if you play it, they'll start
Ain't
trying
my
to take
first
it down and shit.
rodeo.
That won't happen here.
Ain't my first rodeo.
With all due respect,
Clown who says it's his
we've been
second
training
rodeo.
for what, 2 months? And I haven't even worn the ring yet.
Don't get hung up on the jewelry, Junior. You're just a fucking substitute teacher.
Look at that. They're being so
You're
edgy
just-
because they're
First
dropping F-bombs.
of all,
left, right.
I just want to completely inaccurate. You cannot be chosen as a Green Lantern if if the ring didn't choose you. So
Right.
that statement alone, the first sentence in the fucking trailer, makes no sense.
Well, we don't know. Did the ring choose him? And now how?
So historically, are you asking if it chose?
Yes, John Stewart. Like,
yes, it did.
so
yes,
the
it
ring
did.
chose him, but he's not trained.
Yeah. So basically, what happens is once the lantern of your sector dies, it immediately finds the best candidate and goes right to you, and immediately goes to you, and then you go to Oa and you get trained there. So first, right off the bat, horrible.
Do you have a choice in the matter, or can you refuse it?
No, you basically, I mean, you can decline it when you get there, but no one really does.
The way this is set up is as if Hal Jordan is just kind of too old to be Green Lantern anymore. And somebody somewhere at Oa was like, hey, you need to find and choose your replacement before you die or something. And
So
Hal's very resentful because he doesn't think he needs that. That's how this is setting up. I'm not saying it's accurate within any fucking story we've ever seen in Green Lantern comic books.
When Green Lantern, when John Stewart became the Green Lantern, he was basically, so Hal Jordan had ascended to us, for lack of a better word, a Supreme Lantern. That's not really a thing, but he was so important that they had to replace the sector that he was in, and that's how John Stewart got it.
Drinker, I wish to quote Fringy and say, why the fuck does Hal Jordan sound like Cletus the slack-jawed yokel?
That's great.
He's Cletus the slag.
He did not become He didn't become Parallax. So the person, the character who replaced him as when he became Parallax was Kyle Rayner. Sorry, I'm going to be kind of pushy with this. Green Lantern's my favorite.
I mean, what I was a stickler for is that I throw on this trailer and they start with like, "You've been training me for 2 months." I was like, already, like, as you know, because why not?
Not ready to get up in front of the class until the ring says you are. All right.
Look, he did something unexpected there.
Whoa!
This is a wacky show, you boys.
I could have died.
You want me to train you? I'm training you.
Look at that. This isn't your grandma's Green Lantern.
It's just weird how none of this takes place in space.
Yeah, so if you remove 2 seconds out of this trailer, like 2 shots of the ring and like a shot of the lantern that also looks crappy in his suit, if you remove 2 or 3 seconds from this trailer, there would be nobody that could even tell this is not just a random kind of old grizzled cop with a new young hotshot rookie who thinks he knows everything, a random crime drama in the Southwest.
And also basing it off of True Detective season 1, which I think is a masterpiece. I've seen it multiple times. They're really aping the style, the sort of the acting style, even the way it's shot, the muted colors, the music, that music, the mystery in a small town, dark things happening. It is completely ripping off True Detective, and then like you'd think Gunn would lean into this is cosmic hero stuff.
Yes,
you think
100%. I was thinking that when I watched this.
I think
I
one of
was
the
like, holy
best.
shit,
Like
this
Guardians
is,
of the Galaxy.
this is
Yeah.
right up his fucking alley. You can use all the minor characters, the Kilowoggs, the Salix, all of them.
Yeah,
And it I don't know.
but you know, in true Gunn form, like Peacemaker season 2, are we going to see Lantern Dong in this? Will there be full frontal or any other? Like even the
If
swearing.
it's James
like,
Gunn, probably.
Bro,
like-
Hal Jordan's so old he can't get it up anymore, so he has a light construct dick. Like, are we gonna see that? Maybe.
So it's funny
Yeah.
because when the trailer for the Superman came out, I had said something along the lines of why the hell isn't Hal Jordan being played by Nathan Fillion? And it was like, oh well, he's too old to do it now. But clearly they're going a route of he's an
Older actor.
older Green Lantern. They say so they could have done it.
Yeah, so that's the funny thing, because Nathan Fillion people have been dying for Nathan Fillion to be Hal Jordan as Green Lantern for forever, in large part because he would look the role, but also because he voiced Hal Jordan in a lot of the animated stuff, shows and movies that they did. And they're like, no, we're casting the guy you want for Green Lantern, but he's Guy fucking Gardner for some reason.
Which is funny. So at this, I mean, obviously the DCU and the comics don't 100% line up, but at a certain point they do go to 2 lanterns, but I don't think that would have made sense for this point. There's I'm not really sure exactly why. Actually, there would have been 3 lanterns at this point. Now that I look at it.
Other thing is, where is this in the timeline? This is before Guy Gardner. It's got to be.
So there's
No, because he's in the show. He's
Well-
listed on the cast.
we'll
Well,
talk
yeah,
about
but-
it when we get to the end of the trailer, because
Yeah,
he
let's-
says something. We can talk
know
about
the
it when
line
it
I'm
gets
talking
there.
There's a bigger question to be asked here. How's James Gunn's wife going to get banged in this show?
Kilowog. No.
Slow-mo.
There's got to be another alien.
That's why Hal doesn't like the alien Green Lanterns. Kilowog smashed James Gunn's wife.
Yeah.
Something is off here. I can feel
Yes,
it.
the whole trailer is off.
It's quite a homogenous crowd there.
It's funny
But-
that so we talked about Taylor Sheridan before, and the first thing I thought of when I saw this trailer was like, this just looks like a Taylor Sheridan show, but with a weird tone to it.
It's so like muted and
Yeah.
washed out and blah.
This is my town. You're a big shot. Noted.
Yeah. I
How
mean,
There's just not much to say at this point.
this is I got to the end of this trailer. For the most part, I was like, I don't even know really what I'm supposed to draw from this. All of the dialogue that you get is pretty much just disconnected from everything else. It's literally just trailer dialogue. It's all just sound bites that sound somewhat dramatic on their own, but they don't really contribute to any bigger picture of what I'm supposed to be invested in. It's an odd trailer.
Stay
So-
the fuck out of me.
I was gonna say a thing that a lot of people were, so obviously I did my random Google search. A lot of people just wanted the Jeff Johns storyline, which would have probably actually worked for the overall narrative of having, because it starts with Rebirth, which is essentially a retelling of the story of how he got his ring. It could have. It's just so weird that they went this route, and to have the most well-known Green Lantern on the way out already.
As someone's pointing out there, a lantern trailer without any lantern powers.
Yeah,
Is it
there, like,
even that weird? This matches a lot of the sensibilities that Gunn's fucking DC universe has. All these wacky, insane, backward choices. It's just like, well, yeah, this isn't going to work either, dude.
My way.
Think she hates your guts. It's the way she hates them.
She hates him so hard. She hates
I
those
mean,
guys so hard.
That is about the only thing that I can can kind of commiserate with in this trailer. It's like, yeah, she really fucking hates me. That's kind of hot, So
Well, yeah, I mean, Hal Jordan has historically loved people who hate him, so it's that's the one thing that's accurate about his character.
That's stupid. That I don't doubt.
The Green Lantern's
Ugh.
Oh,
That's
Olive Lantern.
let me go back actually.
on down. The Green Lantern.
Oh, what? Like,
Good
did,
lord.
did Zack Snyder shoot this?
Yeah, I mean,
Zack Snyder's Green Lantern looked pretty colorful.
Yeah.
To be honest, but it's this doesn't make sense on a lot of levels. And yes, way back a long time ago, Hal did actually have a Green Lantern suit, but this is before kind of the modern stuff. And the suit comes from the ring, right? It is constructed from the ring. I think most people know that, but also just the color. And here's my guess is there is a reason that it's not colored. Like, there's a reason that Hal is on his way out as the Green Lantern. It has something to do with either his willpower fading or his heart not being anymore. Who fucking knows? Maybe. Or maybe maybe this town, maybe there's like a level of fear in this town, and it is something that's affecting their power set. And, you know, whether it's Parallax or fucking Sinestro's that work somewhere, who knows? I'm just making guesses of a reason that they could have it look like this, but I don't know.
well, one thing that they clearly wanted to avoid was the Emerald Twilight storyline, which is very divisive. You know, obviously that's when Hal Jordan becomes Parallax and Kyle Rayner becomes the Green Lantern. But I feel like that the aesthetic would have worked with Kyle Rayner. He has the black suit with only green trim. I don't know. It's weird.
Let's see what else we got.
Lantern's oath is to protect people.
Not a moat. That's the worst kind of place you can stay. Damn.
We both know I do a better job of this than you.
That's right. He's better than you. And he knows it.
Somebody said they love Emerald Twilight. That was what I started with personally. I love Emerald Twilight, but it's very divisive because Hal Jordan becomes a villain. You know, it was during that era when DC was deciding they killed Superman, they paralyzed Batman, and then they made Hal Jordan a villain. So
this guy's calling it 100%. Hal's going to be the bad guy by the end of the season.
I would love to see him get corrupted by Parallax. That's just me, though. I mean, I can understand a lot of people not wanting that.
I think he's gonna die.
I mean, that's a waste. If they do that, if they kill him off, that's a complete 100% waste.
Like you said, that would be a waste. Not had started him at the end of his career already being an extreme waste.
Well, yeah, I mean, that in and of itself is a waste, yeah.
Right, wait, where is it? Okay,
This is my job. As long as I'm alive, that ain't changing.
I mean, they are kind of setting up the rivalry there, so...
It's just not erupting a lot of passion, you know, from...
None of it. It's hard to care about this.
So take a deep breath, Junior.
You're old. You're tired.
Sorry, just pausing it for random reasons.
Because you're old and tired, Drinker. You're old.
Well, that specific
there's that,
section
yeah.
it probably couldn't have flagged anyway. I don't even say what's going on.
It's the soundtrack. It'll get you. They'll always get you for that. Oh my god, he did something. He flew. Holy shit, we had some superpowers here.
And he doesn't bother. There's no green aura around him, which annoys me.
There wasn't for Guy Gardner either.
Correct. I will say, at least, even though that's bullshit, it is consistent in the DC universe from what we've seen. There was none around Guy Gardner when he was flying. But still, it's kind of stupid.
Your time is up.
I don't understand. Who are you exactly?
Hal Jordan, Green Lantern.
Yeah.
And it comes
There
out
you go.
right in my birth month, too. It should have been awesome.
And there's still a little more, which goes into a big part of the conversation of why I think he's going to die.
All right, let's see it.
Well, historically, that would make sense for him
Have
to
you ever
die.
talked with the other Lanterns?
I'm the only human. They're aliens. One of them's a fucking squirrel.
That one did make me smile.
It is funny, little Chip reference, but that line makes you question a lot of things about the show in terms of when in the timeline is it. He said there are no other humans. Like I'm the only human Green Lantern. Well, what the fuck's going on with Guy Gardner then? Is this set in the past before Guy Gardner is there? And if that's the case, what the
Ryan,
fuck is all this going on?
Either way, the statement doesn't really make that much sense because yes, there's only one or two, depending on what part of the timeline you're talking about. There's only one or two from each section, so automatically there's only going to be one or two humans. It's kind of like a silly statement to just.
If I had to sum up my level of anticipation for this, I think it's slightly below Wonder Man.
Ooh.
No, I would say it's above. I would say its anticipation is probably above Wonder Man because we've heard about it at least for a while. Whereas Wonder Man, we vaguely heard about and then it just dropped and no one cared. This one, at least, we've kind of had some setup for.
I think the fundamental problem is like it's part of James Gunn's DC, and I know
I'm also
fucking train wreck it's going to be.
In fairness, I'm also very biased towards the Lanterns.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If you have a trailer coming out for your new show about Green Lanterns, I should be able to tell in the trailer that it's about Green Lantern or Green Lanterns. I should see some sort of light construct. I should see some sort of Green Lantern powers in some way. And
it does feel like an overcorrection so I don't know if you remember, but from the trailer for Superman. The trailer for Superman when the constructs when he would like flick his hand and it like there was a huge backlash about how that's not how the rings work, and even though it is, but
they opted to show the fucking brown suit.
I'm wondering if it's an overcorrection in that direction.
I think that this was filmed. Who knows how representative this trailer is of what we actually see. I can't imagine we're not going to see light constructs in this fucking show, but who knows? All we have to go on is the trailer. It's a shockingly retarded decision to not show any Green Lantern powers other than one shot of him flying awkwardly in a Green Lantern show. I do think the idea that it's called Lanterns may be indicative, not just that there's two Green Lanterns in the show, but maybe it'll be more than just the Green Lantern Corps. We could get introduced to yellow, red, indigo, like the different variations.
It feels like it would be jumping. I mean, for this is not a pun intended, but it would be jumping the gun to go right into the Blackest Night storyline and the Sinestro Corps Wars and all that stuff. For them to do that in the first season would be a little bit too much, in my opinion.
Don't you think it's jumping? Don't you think it's jumping? They're going to have Hal Jordan be 60?
We are 3
good point
centuries into jumping the gun with James Gunn's universe. It's insanity what he decided to do, and with this as well, like. I don't know. It feels like, I guess, because Green Lantern's not as popular, that this is getting away with something that is just fundamentally insane. Imagine for Spider-Man, right? Like, they have a new MCU universe, and we find out it's like, Spider-Man's going to be launching in it. It's like, oh, cool. So what are we looking at? And it's like, all right, Miles Morales movie, and Spider-Man is in his 60s, and he's grumpy, and he's training him. You're like, I'm sorry, what? And you're like, that's Peter. And he might die at the end of the film. You're like, oh, my God.
It does feel a little weird that they went with. I mean, it's probably because of the cartoons. That would be my guess. Is a lot of people are familiar with Jon Stewart because of the cartoons, but it's very clear that what they wanted with the muted colors and stuff is probably Kyle Rayner.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Kyle Rayner, other than Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz, Kyle Rayner is probably the least well-known Green Lantern, as opposed to Guy Gardner, Hal Jordan, and Jon Stewart.
No, I would put Kyle Rayner above Guy Gardner. I would put the only reason why he's kind of well-known at this point is because he was in a movie. But I would put Jon Stewart so obviously Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart because of the cartoons. I would put Kyle Rayner next after that, but that's it's kind of like splitting hairs.
Maybe. I don't know. I think there is tons of space in franchises all around, but included in DC in a comics world to do a grounded R-rated show, right? For instance, maybe if you did a Penguin show, which was basically just like a mafia crime boss that was kind of really grounded and R-rated. That could work really well. Like
Crazy idea, Ryan. It'll never
work.
take off.
Or Batman. Just do Batman.
But I don't think the show to do a grounded, super realistic one like that is the fucking Green Lantern Cosmic Police Force show. Like, what are we doing? What a stupid decision.
Completely fucking agree. And I've been enjoying the sort of like insane copium defending every last choice in this just because it's in James Gunn's universe. And then the counter sort of the memes of, I was saying before we went live, like it seems like the tide actually might be turning on this one because this is so obviously such a horrible set of decisions. I saw this post, I don't know if you guys did, where it said, DCU Wonder Woman is going to be a regular girl who's raised in an all-girls orphanage called Themyscira, and the rope is going to be the one she used to hang herself.
I think, did Kata tweet that out? I think I did see that, actually.
Yeah. I just thought it was funny as fuck, because it's like, yeah, we're not beyond that at this point. Like, this stupid, grounded, muted, lame version of everything. I thought we were past this era.
Yeah. James Gunn's bringing back a gayer version of it that's just, lamer. And
obviously, I have no issues with swearing personally. However, the fact that we've had 3 major entries, well, this would be the 4th major entry because Supergirl is going to come out before this, but you've got Superman, which feels like it was made for 4-year-olds, and then you've got Peacemaker and Lanterns, which are obviously made for like much more mature. They're both R-rated. I mean, fuck, Peacemaker's probably mature rated because all the big swinging dicks and shit in it. But I don't know. I don't know what they're doing.
I don't think any of them do, really. Like, at this point, it's pretty much throwing shit against the wall. Just like, right, last chance saloon here. We're probably going to be out soon. Let's just see what we can get out of this.
I'm tired. I'm tired, boss. I'm tired.
I think we all are. Yeah. This was. I know
if
this
you want to share this in terms of the on the I'm tired, boss. I saw this meme going around.
Christ, here we go.
Mr. Got any updates on Batman, Wonder Woman, Justice League, Gods and Monsters? Not the final suit. Wait until the movie and show or the sequel. Oh, the light and visuals, they're not finished. Just wait until the movie. It's like, I like this, but hopefully it's changed further on. And then you just all the, is build up Justice League movie through individual films? No. 10-year plan with obscure characters no one cares about? Yes. Comic accuracy, A-listers, fleshed out universe? No. Mischaracterization accurate to 1940s D-listers? Yes. Like, what the fuck is going on?
If and when, but never is. Oh god, it's so true.
Give me Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's the insane faith that people still have in him. Like they're constantly like primed for this like great payoff that's going to happen at some mythical point in the future. It's never going to happen. This is it. This is as good as it's going to get with James Gunn at DC, and it's probably not going to last that much longer. That's the harsh reality of it, I'm afraid.
Let's not forget he comes from Trauma, like the Trauma movies. So,
well, I think Gunn really peaked with that first Guardians movie. That's
sadly,
I think,
I could agree with that. Yeah,
best thing he did. Everything else is a rehash of that.
I know this is completely unrelated, but this super chat just stuck out for me because I remember this sound effect they're talking about. I was watching The Incredibles the other day, and I noticed something during the big robot fight. They used a sound effect from Terminator 2 where they smash through walls. Only 2 places that I've heard it. Cheers. You know that weird like air rushing sound effect when the 2 Terminators are fighting and they go through like drywall? And it's like, yeah. It's such an unusual sound, and I have heard it in like I think 2 other places. I'm pretty sure they used it in Universal Soldier, like when Jean-Claude Van Damme is running through walls, like doing the same thing. And weirdly, I think they used it in Red Scorpion, that Dolph Lundgren movie, where he gets like this really powerful shotgun. It's like an automatic shotgun towards the end, and every time he fires it, it makes that weird fucking noise. It's completely out of place. But the Foley guys must have decided, oh yeah, that's a cool sound effect. We'll put it on this gun, and then you'll know it's badass. It always stuck out for me. But yeah, I know the sound effect you're talking about. Anyway, that was a random bit of film pointlessness right there. I don't know.
Never pointless about Terminator 2.
yeah, certain things just stick with you, I guess. Let me see if I can answer a few more super chats since we're here. The first one, this is the very first one that got sent in today. It's from Blankface. It says, "Hello, MauLer. I still haven't forgiven you for failing to read my one super chat in that Resident Evil stream."
And you
Why
still
didn't you read
haven't
it, MauLer?
resend it, so I could never know what it was. I assume you were saying, "What a great stream, and I love everything that you do." So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well, they did follow up by saying, "Love you, though." Kiss.
Oh, there you go. The classic.
Also, in regards to the the Green Lantern trailer, I wouldn't say doing a grounded story is an inherently bad idea for Green Lantern, but man, considering the cosmic level powers Hal and John wield and how creative their constructs can get, I prefer that the show had a galaxy-wide view. I mean, surely, yeah, like that's the novelty of the Green Lanterns, isn't it? They can make light constructs of basically anything that they can imagine.
Well,
that's
awesome.
awesome.
The fact that there's thousands of them and they come from diverse backgrounds. I know the term diverse has become, has a negative connotation a lot of times now, but you get lanterns from all sorts of different alien races who use it in different ways because of the fact that they come from those.
You know, I was talking to Gary because we actually did a rewatch of Avengers, funnily enough, and he was telling me about how when he was reading Iron Man and stuff, he felt for so long talking to his friends who was much younger, like, why the fuck haven't they done something with him? Like, he's so cinematic, he's ready to go. Like Iron Man, it's just waiting to happen, and it took this long. And I feel similarly to Green Lantern, the fact that at the core it's all about willpower and then your creative constructs where you can. It's just like, good God, the potential there is fucking amazing, and then it's also cool. Like, and you get to go to space whenever you want as well. It's just like, what the fuck are we doing?
Iron Man's. I can see why Iron Man was successful when it was, though, right? It's more accessible and it's more grounded in technology, and so it's more.
Yeah, I didn't say they were on
for
the
the
same
average
level.
person.
All right, it's just something I'm thinking about because we haven't done anything with Green Lantern for so long in this whole superhero obsessed era. Like, we got the random smatterings in Zack Snyder's stuff, and then we got the Ryan Reynolds failure. It's like that's pretty much around about it, other than games, if you want to count them.
That was one of the reasons I've always loved Green Lantern, is because of the fact that anybody can become a Green Lantern. You can't become Superman. Like, no matter what you do, Superman is, he's a very specific. He's an alien from another planet. Like anybody on any planet can become Green Lantern, and it's all based on your imagination and willpower. And I've always loved that.
Yeah, Jackson here saying, "Love the stream, lads, but if when James Gunn gets released, who'd be a fitting replacement for head of DC? Cheers."
Anyone else?
I nominate Zack Snyder just for the sheer fucking lols
memes.
of it. Let's give it another shot. What's the worst that can go wrong?
Dave Filoni, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Fuck.
Someone said Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah.
Oh man, could you imagine that?
That would be funny as fuck.
What if Kevin Feige and James Gunn just swapped?
Why not? Might as well at this point.
It seems so long for it to settle in as a failure too, like the whole universe to wrap up and close off and then restart again.
Yeah, at that point you can't restart it. You just have to roll with it. If you were to restart it again within 3 years,
that's kind of what I'm getting at. They'll run out the Batman with Reeves, and we'll get Man of Tomorrow, Supergirl, and all these other ones, and then it'll kind of be like the way that Zack Snyder's universe died, where it's these hangers-on. Some of them do better, some of them do worse, until they're fighting in the background for 5 years about what they're going to do, and then suddenly it's like, I think we're resetting, folks.
I would assume from just a corporate standpoint that they wouldn't want to do that only from like a prestige level. Like, we can't restart this again. It would just look that terrible. But who knows?
I believe it's the endpoint decision. First, they'll replace James Gunn with some other person who says, like, I'll fix it. I know what to do. And then another set of failures. And they're like, who can save us?
Almost like you should put some actual comic people involved with the comic storylines.
Yeah, but I mean, look, you love Jeff Johns and some of his stories, right?
I mean, a few of them, yeah. I mean, I'm not there's a few things about Jeff Johns that I've always disliked. The fact that he decided every single one of the fact that he decided Parallax was going to be an entity, and then every one of them has to be an entity, always annoyed me. But
yeah, but what the problem was, the more involved Jeff Johns got with DC Films, after Snyder left, the worse things got. You know what I mean? So We've tried that road for DC Comics as well. I think you need a balance. And unfortunately, I like James Gunn, Tom King is part of the core DCU team. And a lot of people have massive problems
It's
with
honestly,
Tom King in the comics.
What's so immensely frustrating is James Gunn could have been the guy, but he like let his worst sensibilities completely overthrow all of the creative decisions. If he was wise enough to have chosen really great creatives to focus on their own projects while I don't even think he should have put himself on Superman. He should have been putting himself on something much more appropriate and found someone for Superman. But there we are. We're here. He's one of the most ego-driven creators we actually have working right now. He is so far up his own ass that DC has no chance.
I have an idea.
There's a really good interview with Zack Snyder on the Josh Horowitz podcast. He addresses a lot of questions, how Ben Affleck got cast, Martha. He talks about that, but it reminds me like there was real momentum when Man of Steel came out and BVS was announced. And Aquaman,
well, it was that sweet spot of comic book movies, wasn't it? Where Marvel was like absolutely dominating, and like there was still just loads of enthusiasm, and we wanted to see what DC could do then. Like there was a very open market for it. That doesn't exist now.
There is no momentum either from Marvel or DC. And what I know about Doomsday, it sounds like a mess. It sounds like a mess.
How could it be anything else?
Yeah, where normies are going to be like, what is this?
I have an idea. I have a radical idea. You take somebody who used to work for, a cable network, who used to, review comics and does YouTube stuff nowadays. Who could possibly fill that void?
No idea who you're talking about there. No
Markiplier.
idea.
You're right. Let's get Markiplier ahead of DC. There we go.
Yeah, let me see what we've got here. Pac-Man says, the idea of modern writers trying to write a show about superheroes whose powers are only limited by their imagination is very funny. It'll be like watching Super Genius Thrawn operate in Ahsoka. It's so true. It's so true. Your characters are only as smart as their writers. Pretty says you'll have to watch an Indian movie, Durandar. It was easily the best of 2025. It's out on Netflix, and the second part is coming out this month. Highly recommend. Yes, I did settle down to watch it, actually. Then I discovered it's almost 4 hours long, and I was like, I don't have time tonight to watch this. It's an investment. As far as epic movies go, yeah, it's fucking gigantic. I do want to watch it. It's just, wow, that's a commitment of time right there. Pac-Man also says, is Star Trek dead? Why, yes, it is. It's more like the last zombie is finally dead, so what's left of humanity can begin to recover and rebuild. There can be a rebuilding of Star Trek, but it's going to take time, and it needs time to heal. And that healing is only going to come through just inactivity for a while, I think. It needs it. Blank Face says, with no new Star Trek shows being made, I can think of a brilliant thing to use $100+ million on. Upgrade Deep Space Nine to Blu-ray. Why though? I mean, you could release it now just with loads of behind-the-scenes featurettes and stuff, and that'd be all you need. Like, people would still love it anyway.
There's definitely everyone always wants these like upscaled. I don't think they look better ever. I don't know. I just leave it on HD. You're fine.
Yeah. Because they have to use AI to upscale it most of the time because they weren't shot in HD back in the day. And so what do you end up with? It's like, nah, it looks pretty fakey.
We've seen several instances of that recently. Aliens was a good one.
The Cameron movies that he upscales are god-awful. Go for Broke says, Drinker, would you do a production hell on Rise of Skywalker? I mean, I could, but like, was it a hellish production, or was it just like a shit movie?
Yeah, the thing about most of these Disney productions, and to be fair, this could be just because they nail down anyone being able to speak out about what actually happens, but they always come across to me as part of, and I know this sounds crazy, part of why they're such awful films is that everyone gets along so well because no one cares about what's happening other than make sure catering and schedules are adhered to and make sure everyone smiles and has a hug.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it was a comfortable shoot to get through.
It's probably fine.
Yeah, it's just what they were actually making was dog shit at the end of the day. So.
It does seem like pretty much everybody that was involved with the Star Wars sequel was just happy to be there. So I can't really see what you would even say about that.
Yeah, in retrospect, most of them should have been really happy to be there because it's
Well,
the
the-
last like big
I remember
budget
the,
movie they'll ever do.
I think it was Daisy Ridley who said like they were doing the kiss sequence with Kylo, and it was like his last day of shooting for Adam Driver. They did it. They like cut. It was done. And then I think his story was something along the lines of like he was like, okay, bye, and he had to go.
He just left.
That was like it, and because he had to catch a plane to go somewhere else or whatever. And it was just like that's a wrap for Kylo. Okay,
I mean, in fairness, the production hell would have been the fact that none of them had any idea what the hell was the next scene.
I honestly,
that's really what
if
it would have been. But is that a production hell?
No,
or is that like.
If I was to do a production hell, it would be on the sequel trilogy in totality, right? Because that's much more like in line with it, right? The fucking chaos behind the scenes, Ryan taking all of JJ's like plot threads and just shitting on them and like cutting all of them off, and then JJ coming back and having to like undo all the damage he did and try and cobble together some halfway coherent movie and failing. That's a story at least.
Yeah, in fairness. It's almost as though like it would really be the production hell would be we needed to just keep filming no matter what happened, and that's
I like that idea. Yeah. It's like with no idea what's going on, just keep shooting, make anything.
I mean, it did kind of set the precedent for what we're seeing now, where films are now starting to get into primary shooting before the script is done. That was kind of the one that really started it.
Yeah, it is wild. J.K. Fozel says, question for the panel. If V for Vendetta came out today exactly as we know it, do you think it would be well received by this community or not? I think it would be pretty divisive. I mean, I still love it as a movie. I don't know.
It's more relevant now than when it was released, I think.
Well, it would be super fucking controversial right after COVID because people would be like, what the fuck is this movie trying to say? If you remember what the plot line is.
Yeah. I do think that there would be. The thing is, if it came out now and it was exactly the way it was, everyone would be trying to draw parallels and say they're criticizing these exact things right now, these people who are currently in power, I mean, it's like good luck with that because like it was a right-wing government in V for Vendetta, and it's like we've got a Labour government in the UK these days. So
well, it was relatively faithful, so it's hard to argue that they were attacking the current administrations because they're almost, it's not as shot for shot as like Watchmen, so to say, but it was pretty faithful.
What I'm saying is that is people are so on the lookout for things now that even sometimes if people are just telling a story that's been told a million times about a powerful corrupt government overreach type of thing, even if there's not necessarily any intention, they will think that intention is there to criticize people currently in power. Do you know what I mean?
I get what you're saying. Yeah. It's a very easy argument to dispel because you just go, well, here's the source material. Just read it for 5 minutes and you'll see that we didn't really change much.
By the way, the film is getting a re-release on November 1st and November 5th.
In
fall 2026. So there you go.
Worth watching, I guess.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, I always say that the most like Watchmen is essentially shot for shot until the very last 10 minutes. V for Vendetta, that's a hard one to say. V for Vendetta is not that far from the comic. It's not so, it doesn't deviate so far that you could argue it. It's like
they cut out some parts like the supercomputer that kind of runs everything. That was just wiped from the movie. So yeah, there's elements that they did excise from it, but yeah, I think for the most part it's fairly accurate. Patient Tilia says, "Yo, Drinker, the film Better Watch Out on your list." I don't know. I've not heard of that. What is it? Better Watch Out.
A movie about Santa Claus or something. I don't know.
Sure. Is it new? Wait, hold on. Let me see.
It's a 2016 film, horror comedy.
All right. Who's in it?
I don't recognize.
Levi Miller, Ed Oxenbould, Virginia Madsen. Mostly people I don't really know. Patrick Warburton's in it. Yeah. It's only got a 6.5.
Yeah.
So
Do you trust critics, Drinker?
Isn't that the one guy is what's his face from he was Billy in Stranger Things.
Wait, did Drinker die?
I'm here. Oh.
No,
why is my image stopped moving? Hold on.
Yeah, it was I don't know how
it's my avatar there now.
Dacre Montgomery, he was Billy from Stranger Things.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
Fair enough. Cheers to all, especially my friend DarkHour. Speaking of Paramount, will there be a video on the hit show Landman? Seriously, that show is great and insanely based for the year 2026. Yeah, I keep meaning to get around to making some videos about the Taylor Sheridan shows. Landman season 2 is not as good as season 1. I'm just going to go out and say it. The daughter is annoying as fuck. They've made her like super retarded for some reason. They still haven't figured out what to do with his wife. But you know, Billy Bob Thornton is still like always reliable, so he's pretty fucking entertaining. Yeah, there's things I could say about Landman for sure. I mean, overall, it's a pretty engaging show.
Drinker, can you full short something? It was a great comment. Made me laugh. Full short OG. It just happened a minute ago.
Let's see. They're going by pretty quickly, so see. It's not super chat, is it?
No, it's not, but it made me laugh. I'm sorry.
Fuck. Yeah, I can't see it. You might
I'll
have to
just
find
read
it.
It was Seaman over Landman over Airman. I just
okay. Ocean Man. Yeah. If I had a top 5 of ridiculous opinions for an open bar, Ragsy's onion take would be all 5 of them. Hey, we're all allowed to have retarded takes every once in a while, okay?
It's true. It's legal.
Yeah, it's great that the new HBO Lantern show has finally been given the green light. Let's see what you did there. Also, a friendly reminder to Drinker that Team America is a musical and dinosaurs are awesome. Did I ever argue that Team America wasn't a musical?
Oh, I thought you were going to say, did you ever argue if dinosaurs aren't awesome? I was about to say, yes, you
Dinosaurs are awesome. But if I had to see
you did that, just stop.
My whole life, I'd still get bored of them.
Stop.
That's my all-time
He said
favorite.
dinosaurs are awesome, and we're moving on. It's great.
All-time favorite open bar moment.
Mexi Raids. After watching that Lanterns trailer, I can't anymore with James and his hack writers. And I like Jon Stewart, and I see they're going to butcher both John and Hal. Why can't they just allow JLU? It's easy. Don't know. Someone tell me. Why can't they just let
Justice League Unlimited? Is that what they're
I guess that's what they're going for, yeah.
When he announced his universe plans, the reaction a lot of us had immediately was, this is insane. And it seems it's going to take another fucking 2 or 3 years, and then the whole world's going to be like, okay, yeah, it was insane. It's like, thank you. This is great. We finally made it. Okay. Now to reset.
We got the Paradise Lost show on Themyscira.
No, we're gonna do the orphanage one, okay? we're gonna change it up.
There was no Wonder Woman project. It was Paradise Lost, which was supposed to be a Game of Thrones type of series set on Themyscira with the Amazons.
So this is the other thing. People should go back and watch his announcement slate, because half the projects are canceled.
Oh,
yep.
Yeah,
Batman Brave and the Bold was supposed to be like the second movie, or I guess the Authority was supposed to be the second movie out.
I was going to say, are they still doing the Authority? Or is
no,
that
that's canceled. Batman Brave and the Bold just got its writer with Christina Hodson, the writer of Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, and The Flash.
It's so fucked.
Well, one thing, it's funny because earlier it was, what would Paramount, what is on their like big board, so to say, of how to make money, and I think it's probably like half of them say Batman. That would be my guess. Some form of
I'd love
Batman.
to see what James Gunn's one says. I'm pretty sure it'll just say Guardians of the Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy. That's all he's got. Anyone seen Young Sherlock yet? Guy Ritchie's sort of prequel, but not really. Shout out friends of the show, Joey Dustpan and Perchok Avenue podcast. Yeah, I haven't seen Young Sherlock yet. I don't know if you guys have.
No.
Nah. Yeah. Why did Cersei not kill Dany in episode 4?
Episode 4 of the last season, I'm guessing.
Episode 4 of season 8.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the one where Missandei gets executed?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Because the rest of the
and that makes
season couldn't
Cersei
have
super
happened
sad.
then.
everything is stupid in that whole season. So that's your answer.
Good enough for me.
Hey Ryan,
MauLer.
just to quote you, what's your favorite Game of Thrones episode? Out of curiosity, or which one do you think is the best?
I would have to do a rewatch to say, but I mean, to me, Red Wedding always just stood
Yeah.
out so much,
That's fair.
and
Shock
to the
value,
point where
isn't it?
every time you hear the Reigns of Castamere, it just stands
Oh, yeah.
out. You know what I mean? So it's tough not to say that one.
I was a friend has just reached the end of season 4. I was watching it with him, and I was like, man, Watchers of the Wall, I think is just unbelievably fucking excellent.
that's great.
Hindsight, the greatest scene in that show is when Pedro Pascal gets his head smashed into the ground. That's the best scene.
In hindsight, yeah.
Yeah. Like at the time it was kind of I wish I didn't see that, but now I could just watch it over and over again.
Yeah. MauLer, what the hell is Fargate? I can't find it.
How many times have I gone over this? It's hard to find. Okay, I don't know how else to say.
Hey,
I don't
I'm
even
just-
know.
I'm
It's
just
not
doing
on
the
any
super
streaming
chats.
services. People keep asking. I don't know, man.
Lord Thoth says, safe journey, drinker. Thank you. I might just be going off for another screen tourism video that I'm going to be filming. So watch this space. New member joined Phil Mitchell's Fist. Nice. Are you bringing your books to MegaCon to buy? So I think we still do have some already in Florida from the last one because I ordered way too many. So I'll bring them and bring some posters and stuff as well. We still have some posters of your movie MauLer that I can sign as well. So yeah, and they've been signed by MauLer already. So that'll be nice. Looking forward to MegaCon. No, it's going to be good. Ryan, are you going to be there?
Well, yeah, it's about fucking 15 minutes away from me, so I better be there.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'll be there. That'll be fun.
I'd love to see the excuse of why you're not there if it's only 15 minutes away.
Yeah, we think we finally got panel time finalized today. I don't think we can officially make the announcement of the time yet, but it is going to be on Saturday. So Saturday morning at MegaCon for those of you guys that are going to be here.
Can't wait. Would you rather? Oh no, I've done that one already. Yeah, I remember that from earlier. Comedy arc in the first or second half of the year. I think that's for you on EFAP.
Oh man, I mean, the way it's shaping up, we've got good news and bad news in the front of what you could expect to have happen this year. We're hopefully going to be able to announce it soon-ish about what you're going to be able to see, but the way it's looking, because things are going to get in the way unless we fucking spammed all of these out. The comedy arc might start in about January of 2027.
Maybe.
That should be it.
Safe travels to everyone heading to Orlando for MegaCon and hope the meetup goes well also. It always does. I can never remember the meetup, but I'm assuming that it goes well the day after. It's good shit.
My hope is to be at next year's. So
better be. In regards to your request to invade the UK, the US doesn't think it's a good idea to get into yet another ground war in a Middle Eastern country. It's funny because it's true.
Yeah, that's the last thing we need right now.
Jeffinator the Colossal. Drinker, a horrible thing has happened to me. I've run out of booze. No! What single malt scotch would you recommend and how would you rank the Resident Evil games? Well, there's about 500 Resident Evil games, so I don't think I've got time to rank them all. But single malt scotch is probably going to be Lagavulin. It's my favorite. Highland
What's
Park
your
comes
number
in at first.
one RE game, though?
You bastard. It's, you know what? I'm just going to say it. It's the Resident Evil 1 remake. That game is glorious. And I
can accept that.
That is how you do a remake right there.
Did you hear that they've basically greenlit another remake of
remake?
Engine? Yeah, the remake.
I've heard the rumors for the shit forever. Are they actually doing it?
You know what I heard?
It's been greenlit.
Yeah. When I heard they're remaking the remake of 1, and that's probably, I believe that would be successful because of how all this goes, and then it'd be like, we're going to remake the remake of 2. And the first thought I had was just listening to Wesker say, Ouroboros will be released into the atmosphere, but about the fucking franchise at this point. Holy shit.
Yeah,
I want them to do another crack at Resident Evil 3 and I fuck it up a third time.
You'll be
hey,
19.
hey,
Remake will be out.
Wait
Yeah,
a
like,
minute,
well,
wait a minute. Rewind. Fuck it up a third time. You're saying the first one wasn't good? The first.
Actually, no, I'll
Resident
take that back. The first one, it was definitely a compromised game because like it was basically going to be a spin-off that was bumped up into like main event status. So it was definitely they had to make a few how can I put it? There was a lot of tweaks that they had to make to it to try and get more replay value out of it, like the branching storyline and stuff, because it's not a huge game otherwise. But yeah, it's miles ahead of the remake of 3,
So
which
it's
is
definitely a down turn from 2. I'll give you that. But to say it's a failed game, I will
it's
not.
No, it's not failed. It's not a failed one. It's more just like, yeah. The remake of 3 was a fucking failure, and yeah, if they were to do it again, it'd be hilarious if they fucked it up a second time.
fuck it, I'll go for another RE4. It's like, fine, let's go around again.
Yeah. Just bought a PS3 and I'm playing Riddick, Escape from Butcher Bay. Riddick doesn't get enough love.
Welcome to 2008.
Yeah, the third Riddick movie was so shit, man. Like,
I actually, the PS3 it doesn't get the love of the PS2, but it honestly had a solid, what is it? Library of games.
Library of games, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the Night of the Seven Kingdoms in episode 5, I see many people view Rafe and Dunk's relationship as romantic. I saw it more like brother-sister relationship. Your views? I mean, it's...
I do think it's kind of like when they're sitting there down there and it's like, you want to go with me? Don't you love me? Like stuff like that. It does feel like it's not like, I think it might be romantic from one side. And I think for Dunk, it's more like, this is the only person I know who gives a shit about me type of thing.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think from his point of view, yeah, it's more innocent than that. So he's just, enamored. Yeah, if you were in charge of the new DCU, what are the first 5 films that you're making? Also, MauLer, were you a fan of COD's World at War back in the day?
Still am. That game's awesome. I love it.
Is that the one that Kiefer Sutherland voices?
Yes. He's Roebuck, and you get obviously Gary Oldman. that game's awesome. There's so many things it does that are so cool.
Yeah. So if you were to take over DCU right now, I don't know, clean slate, I guess, what films would you make? It seems kind of obvious, really, doesn't it?
Obvious, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
you want Batman, you want a Wonder Woman, you want a Superman, have them team up in a Justice League movie. It's not difficult.
Well, I think you need a Flash movie before the Justice League movie. Like a legitimate, like, Flash origin movie.
So you've got the 4 origins.
Yeah, I'm okay with Green Lantern not having an origin film and kind of showing up later, but I think Flash kind of needs that.
So where's the Authority coming? Are we doing that first?
Well, the Authority would have been Project Zero. It would have happened before I even took over.
Great. All right. I say 5 Authority movies.
Of course. And the Creature Commandos. They haven't put TNG on any app most of Europe. Netflix doesn't have it anymore. Hail 176 Drinker. What, TNG is in Star Trek Next Generation? What, can you not watch it?
I'm pretty certain you could watch that pretty easily in America. I don't know about Europe.
Yeah, that sucks. Thanks again to Snex for saving those member chats. Yeah, absolute lifesaver, that guy. Because sometimes we don't catch all of the member chats on the night, and they get lost otherwise. So this guy is able to send them to me so we can do them in last orders. So much appreciated, sir. Yeah, he's dead, Jim. Paramount starts flogging harder. Yeah, just keep going with it. I can't even say that. Yes.
Ordenschisch Muff Drinker.
Yes, you couldn't said it better if you tried. Well done. Yeah, put Shatner in a Logan-like send-off. I'd love to. I hate to say it, I don't think Shatner could probably get through an entire movie these days. He's 95.
I was going to say, how old is he? Then you answered it.
We have the technology, Drinker. We'll put him on
He'd be fine for a cameo, but I can't see him carrying a whole film as Kirk. Not at this point. I'd love it if he could, but let's be realistic here. Yeah, this might be the fundamental problem here. Good luck getting the TikTok generation into Trek. I mean, yeah, to try and get them to watch TNG, for example, they're going to struggle.
Apparently, that was a Welsh phrase, by the way, that I just butchered earlier.
MauLer, how did you not notice it?
I apologize to the person in the chat who said that it's the non-Welsh person. I'm sorry.
Why do you think I laughed?
I mean, want to tell us what it means, or
no?
Okay.
I am not fluent in Welsh.
Aren't you from Wales? Isn't that like a whole thing? Like you're trying to make it a real language?
You're from Earth. Do you know Earthies? No.
Yes.
Got
I
him.
know all of the Earth languages. That's what I do.
The problem with like that comment about good luck trying to get the TikTok generation into Trek is that's what they've been trying to do by making it not Star Trek, and that hasn't worked at all. If you keep the core of it what it is and make Star Trek for all the fans of Star Trek and that had been fans for decades and decades and decades, are you going to get 70% of the TikTok generation like it? No, but you're going to find some people there. You're going to find some people that do enjoy it, find some people that like it, find some people that don't just want to mindlessly scroll, and you can sustain your fan base and keep introducing new people to it. Now they're trying to produce Star Trek for the TikTok generation, and no one gives a fuck about it because it's just retarded.
Yeah, well, it's fundamentally not compatible with that mindset, and the more they try to do it, all it does is it fails to attract these new fans that they want, but it also turns existing fans away. So it's like the worst of both worlds. Hence the reason nobody fucking watches this show.
Okay, so I'm going to correct myself again. Apparently this is Gaelic, and I'm just retarded.
Wow, now Scottish people should be offended too. Drink.
No, well, you can't.
I'm American, and we only speak American. Okay, I'm sorry.
I can't speak mine. We're not doing very well.
I was taught Welsh, French, and German. I didn't remember a thing from any of those lessons. I'm terrible with loaded languages.
Basically, if anybody told me at this point that this was a different language, I would just assume that it was another language. I don't know.
Can we know it for sure? Maybe they just slapped the keyboard. You don't know.
They might have had a stroke while they were trying to put it out there. You never know. It warms my heart to think that Dave Filoni and Alex Kurtzman get annoyed when anyone mentions or asks about Andor and Picard Season 3, i.e. shows they didn't work on that are actually good. Hack frauds. Yeah, apparently, from what I've been told, Alex Kurtzman does not like Picard Season 3 getting mentioned. It's like the one thing that the fans actually warmed to, and it's like had nothing to do with him. Pull Whedon out of hell and get him to write a new Star Trek series.
That's never gonna happen.
Has he done anything since the?
Nope, he's living the like reclusive old man lifestyle in his mansion somewhere, pottering around, just waiting for, I guess, something to happen.
Like I wrote the first Avengers.
He wrote a lot.
He's probably
man.
got so much money. He's never gonna have to work again. So
oh yeah, sure. But Drinker, have you heard like the thing like Nathan Fillion's posted a bunch of videos with all the cast of Firefly and they're building up to something and everyone's terrified?
Oh no.
Because yes, it's expected that we're either getting just, a reunion, which is fine with me, or we're gonna be announcing a reboot, which would be horrifying and the worst thing ever because you ain't making Firefly without Whedon, certainly not 2000s Whedon. So, or Mutant Enemy.
No.
So and they're all going to be super old, and it's just. But I'm happy that I don't have to have the pain of like a Buffy and Angel where you're less familiar. Firefly, you can just be purely angry, as I would be.
Yeah, let the hate flow through you, MauLer.
We'll cover it. We'll watch every fucking episode if they reboot that.
Would your favorite Batman beat the other's favorite Batman? Well, that's a good question. It depends who your favorite is. What would you most like to see from a new Batman film?
Arkham Games Batman would be all the other Batmans.
I want to see a Guardians of the Galaxy type situation with Batman where he has to team up with a bunch of misfits and go on a wacky cosmic adventure.
So basically the Bat family is what you're asking for.
All the Robins and Nightwing.
I would like to see a slightly not as kind of dour, slow, and grounded as Pattinson's Batman, like closer to that than some like goofy, campy something, but not quite to that level, but with an actual Robin and with other people, with somewhere to lead and take the story. I would like to eventually 3 movies down the line have Nightwing in the story.
Yes,
and a different
thank you,
Robin.
Ryan.
Like that's what I want to see. Batman stories like we got from the comic books. I would love that. Also,
I would
Arnold
like to see-
Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze.
Honestly, I would like to see a Batman Begins show finally happen because they've teased it multiple times over the years.
But I would also want.
Sorry, Batman Beyond. I'm sorry, I said Batman Begins. I meant Batman
Beyond would be cool.
Yeah, sorry, Batman Beyond. I'm sorry.
I would like to see him still be an actual fucking detective. I liked that. I liked having the investigation stuff in the Batman. So yeah, a little more balance.
But yeah, I would love to see what was it, Terry McGillis? Yeah, I think that was his name. I would love to see that on screen.
Terry McGillis. Yeah.
No, Terry McGillis is
right.
the name of
Batman Beyond. Yeah, I said Batman Begins by accident.
Terry McGinnis. Yeah.
What I'm probably going to do is finish up right there because as you guys, as I mentioned earlier, we started an hour early tonight because I have to get an early flight tomorrow, and so I probably need to turn in and try to get some sleep for a couple hours before I go.
You're just getting the Americans ready because we have daylight savings time this weekend, so it's going to be different time next week.
This is this fucking awkward time of year when you guys go forward, but we don't for a few more weeks afterwards.
Yeah,
it's not until the end of the month for us, so it's going to be super confusing. But anyway, that notwithstanding, I'm going to stop this open bar right now. God damn it! But I do want to say thanks to my awesome panel for coming on tonight. It's been great talking with you as always, and for everyone that's been generous enough to send so many lovely super chats and kind comments. We appreciate you as we always do, and we'll catch up on the ones that we missed out on last orders. But for now, that's all we got for today. So go away now.
Bye.